Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from robnotphoto.com, and in today's little video I'd like to do a brief introduction to something that can transform the look of your colour photography, and that is using a custom white balance. Now you might well be saying, well, wait a minute. You know, I shoot RAW probably, or even I shoot JPEG, but in post-processing, in Lightroom, Aperture, in Photoshop Elements, or Picasa, you know, I can get the colours right. You know, I can make sure that things look like they should do. Why do I need to bother of getting it right with a custom white balance? Well, the reason is if you can get it right at point of capture, you'll save yourself a lot of time later on, and you'll also know that the colours you're capturing are realistic as well when you come to look at them on your monitor screen later on. Because the problem is, a lot of the time after you've taken a photo to a particular scene or a particular person, to kind of trust your ability to get the colours right afterwards can be quite tricky. And if you can have a reference for your camera so that you can say to your camera, look, this is what white or grey or black looks like in this particular lighting situation, it will make things much better later on. So, what does custom white balance do? Well, let's imagine we're taking a photo under candlelight. We're taking some pictures of some beautiful flowers under there's some candles next to them. And you look at these let's say they're red roses, you look at these red roses and you think, oh, they're nice red roses, I'm going to take a picture of them. And so you take your camera and you take a picture, and then you look at the back of your screen and you're horrified because those beautiful red roses have turned orange. They're really, really orange, and you're thinking, well, what's going on? Well, the reason for that is our eyes and our brains are really good at when they see something and they think they know what the colour is, they make us see that colour. But our cameras aren't like that. When a camera looks at something that the colour has been changed because of the light shining on it, like our candles, which are very orange, our camera just says, hey, that's what I see, that's what you're gonna get. But with a custom white balance, what basically we can do is we can take something like a piece of white paper, put it in front of our camera underneath the same lighting situations that we're using. There we go, say something like this. Fill the frame with that piece of white paper. Normally go to manual focus and blur it a little bit as well. And we take a picture of it. This is how you do it with Canons. I mean, obviously check your owner's manual to see how you do it with your particular model and make of camera. But basically it's normally something like this. And then with Canons you go into the menus and you go into custom white balance. You choose that picture of that piece of white paper. And then you go into the white balance settings and you say use the custom white balance. And what it's doing is the camera's looking at that picture of that white paper and saying, well, okay, that should be white, but there's quite a lot of orange in it. So in all the subsequent photos, I'm going to take that much orange away, and then you're going to end up with nice looking, natural looking photographs. And that works very, very well. Now, the other thing you might want to do, if you get more into it, you may want to get something like this. Now, this is a Lasterlight. I think it's the Easy Balance card, but it's not really a card. You know, it folds up into a little pouch that you can put in your pocket. But what we've got here, as you can see, we've got black, we've got white, and we've got neutral. Well, they're all neutral colours, and then we've got 18% grey. And so to do a white balance, actually you can use any shade of grey you like, and white and black are really just shades of grey, because you're just looking for a colour which technically has got the same values for all the red, greens and blue in the whole thing. But the kind of accepted methodology, if you like, is that although clicking on black and white will give you a white balance, taking a picture using a white piece of paper, often grey can be better because you don't suffer from blowing out the details like you would with white or losing the details in black. But to be honest, personally, in many, many situations, I've just used a white piece of paper and that's worked fine. But now what I tend to do is, now I've got this, I tend to use this and take a picture of that section of the target, if you like, to get my custom white balances. So what will happen is you'll use your custom white balance and you'll take your photos and you go, wow, this is amazing. You know, why have I been missing this all my life? And you'll look at the pictures and they'll look beautiful. And then you'll take the photos out of your camera and you'll look at them on your screen and go, they look amazing, they look so natural, these flowers look so good, or the portrait, the skin looks natural. And you'll forget that you've got a custom white balance set in your camera. And you'll go out and you'll be taking some great landscape photos, you think, and then you'll get home and you'll upload them to your computer and all the colours will be wrong because you've been using a custom white balance. So please, 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 as part of your photography workflow, always use the wife checklist at the beginning before you go out shooting. So if you don't know already, the wife checklist is this. You get your camera and it starts off with W for white balance. And so you go into your white balance menu and you check that you've got the white balance you want. So this is on custom, so I'm going to go out just general shooting. So personally, I tend to set my white balance to shade. So it's always the same when I go out shooting if it's just going to be out during the day. And then the other bit, the I is ISO, so I always make sure that I'm on auto ISO for general shooting. Focus, I've got auto focus on, and exposure, I'm in aperture priority mode or shutter priority mode depending on how I'm feeling. I'm at normally about f8 and I haven't got an exposure compensation. So there we go. So make sure if you use custom white balances that you take that custom white balance away when you finish with it. Okay, there we go. So that's a quick introduction to custom white balance, why you should use it, kind of a little bit of how it works as well. It's really, really easy. And if you're ever doing anything in sort of controlled lighting situations, tends to be inside, then white balance is the way to go. Or anything that's color critical, like subject shots of things like that have particular colors, like branded packages. Or obviously people, you want people to look natural, don't you? And that's when a white balance comes into it. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Please put comments in the section down below. You can email me. My name's Rob from robnophoto.com. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.